Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. I am Jaylee. This is JayLeesCorner. This is my review for the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills Season 11 Reunion Part 2. Y'all know it's 4 parts to this reunion, and mainly because of all the rigmarole going on with Erica, because it's 1,000 questions for her. And I'm like, Lord, Jesus, fix it, okay? But y'all know, let's think, not let's think. Y'all know, first things first. Do not forget to subscribe to my channel to become a whole JayBird, and all that goodness and stuff. That's always the thing to do. Y'all know, subscribe to my secondary channel. The link to that is always in the description box below. Y'all know every time I say all of these things, so make sure y'all do, liking and commenting and sharing and relaxing and sending yourself and do all of this. Do all of this, okay? Make sure to take it all in. Yeah. Okay, y'all can also follow me on social media. Boom, I am now JayLeesCorner on all platforms. I was able to get my IG finally to be JayLeesCorner, so no more J_Lees_corner. I'm so happy about that, to have one name, to be branded myself, okay, to the one name or whatever, okay? Y'all don't like the video and to subscribe. And again, follow me on IG, on Twitter at JayLeesCorner, and CashApp is also JayLeesCorner, so you can say it if you want to. Anyway, this Sunday, okay, we will have an interview on my channel with the Ladies First panel, okay, with Kimmy from Love and Marriage Huntsville. It'll be on my channel at 4 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Eastern. Okay, a good time will be had by all y'all know when we do interviews. They're always fun and insightful and interesting. So make sure to come by this Thursday on my channel for the Ladies First panel interview with Kimmy from Love and Marriage Huntsville. Okay, and also this Thursday. Okay, the panel is also on my channel. So again, y'all get to be on my channel twice this week. Thank you very much. Okay, but let's get into the foolishness that is the Housewives of Beverly Hills Reunion Part 2. Now, I was watching it and trying to take notes, and I was over it, and I had to watch it again and get some better notes or whatever. This whole thing, to me, we have the ladies up here. Okay, y'all ain't seen me yet. I am here. Okay, so we have the ladies, from the reunion. This was really focused on Erica. Okay, it was mostly Erica questions because a lot needed to be asked, and a lot of questions required some answering of Miss Erica Jane right here. Okay, right here. But I still felt like it was some lying going on. Okay, a whole line going on. We had people helping the one liar. So it was a liar trio. And I also think Kyle helped a little bit, but not so much as these two little snake and chip peoples. So it was really, Andy questioning Erica. And now I feel like he could have had her on Watch What Happens Live and did a whole interview segment. But would that have been fair to the ladies? No. But this particular part was mainly focused on Erica and her questioning, not her question, but people questioning her about things that went on. So let's go over what was asked, okay? So were you faithful to Tom? Okay, because you were saying he wasn't faithful to you, were you faithful to him and all and whatnot? And now she said, look, I was faithful, yes, until I filed for divorce. Meaning she's got some dick recently. Okay, she filed for divorce. They're not together no more. So she's probably been doing things because she's free as she sees fit to get a cooch up to who she want to get a cooch up to. Okay, fine. And we asked her, well, how long was he cheating? And did you know how many women it was? She said, for years. He was cheating for years. Okay, and I knew about 2 initially, and then the day I left, or around the time she left, she found out about a third woman, okay, that he was messing around with. I'm like, if he was so gone in the head, and if he's so, if his health is deteriorating, how was he able to keep having affairs up until you leave? And how, did the lady he was cheating with know he wasn't right in the head either? I'm just like, it just sometimes don't make no sense. Okay, now He brings up how the fans are saying for 6 seasons you portrayed your marriage as almost perfect, okay, and now he's a cheater, he's abusive, whatever, kept all your money. Can you explain that, Erica? Could you please explain that, okay? And she said, you know what? No one knows. I'm sorry. No one understands how marriage or whatever. No marriage is perfect, okay? And this was 20 years of stuff, and I think on the show I tried to highlight the best of him. I was like, no, you put on the front, either then or now. Because it's like then you're like, oh, I want to say this. This is the best of times. These are the best. But now all of a sudden, it was bad. It was all bad. I don't know what to do. What am I going to do? Girl, I don't believe her. I just do not. But I think Erica has been media trained very well. I think they have been taking months upon months to prepare her to answer questions because she's gonna be answering questions in the lawsuits or whatever. So I don't believe that she, fully was lying all these years before, and now she's being honest. Now she's telling the truth. I was like, man, I don't really believe you. It's something about her lies that made me feel like she know what she has to say to look innocent. She know what she has to say to try to disconnect herself from what time did. Okay, and if I can make it seem as if I had no idea, Your Honor, I did not know anything, Your Honor, it makes her look like she's a victim too. I just don't believe it. Now he asked a great question. Okay, why didn't you leave Tom sooner? Okay, I know what you make on the show. It's a pretty penny. It ain't no chump change. So why didn't you leave before? Tr- I had the same question. Okay, she said, "Where would I go? Where would I go?" If I had two credit cards, I had two credit cards, and if I leave and he cuts those up, can I ask you for money? Can I ask you for money? I was like, bitch, probably. You probably can ask one of your rich friends. I'm leave that be. You know what I'm saying? She also brought up because he's like, get you with your checks from Bravo. I gave all of my checks to Tom. He controlled the money. You know what I'm saying? Any money I made, he controlled all of it. Okay. I had no access to the money I made. And it was like, what? Oh my God, I can't believe that. Are you Erica really? I was like, why are y'all buying her bullshit? I don't no ma'am. So he asked, like, well, did you stay for the money or do you feel like you were held captive? If you're saying you didn't have access, you're saying that even the money you made separately on the show or any money you made doing whatever else, you gave the check to Tom, okay, and you had no access to get to the money you made. Did you stay for the money because you was the reason, or did you feel like he was holding you captive by not only keeping a hold of his money, well, the people's money, and also your money too? So now you're a victim. He took your money too. He spent your money, girl. You need to be. And she said, well, no, I stayed because I had no access. Okay, and the power balance was always uneven. Even when we first met, I was 27, he was 60. Okay, so it was different then. I trusted him. All my finances was kept at the office, at the firm. So I had no access because he kept all my money, all my financial documents down at the law firm, which to me makes I feel like she said that to feel like okay, I can say out loud, he did all this stuff, and it all reverts back to the office. They put the blame on the office, not on me, not on him, but on the office because she ain't fooling me. Okay, she ain't fooling me. She then asked on how she could not leave because she did not have access to the money she made because again, it's all at the office. So she kept reiterating how time took all her money, and to me that also means let me make it seem like he was not only taking the money from many people, he was taking it from me. I don't believe her. And Andy was look. Andy may be an asshole, messy, bottom sometime or whatever. But I also feel like this time he was asking the right questions. He said, but as his wife, you know, y'all have been married for over 10 years. As his wife, wouldn't you have been entitled to some of the money if you had divorced him sooner? Okay, because if he's doing all, he's cheating, not being nice or whatever, he's doing all these things, as you say, it's been a bad husband. Why did you not divorce him then when you would have been entitled to someone? Because 50-50 state, okay? She's like, well, yeah, that I would have been entitled to some of the money the same way I'm connected to the debt he owes and the lawsuits he's in. Now I would have had, and I'm like, but see, that's the weird part. And Andy then point out, he like, yeah, but at the time, you did not know he owed anyone. You did not know there were any cases coming for him doing shit. And I was like, boom, he kind of caught her in her lie because you left him once you found out the sip, the ship was sinking. You left him once you found out and got word that all the goings on that he had going on was tumbling. Because to say I could have gotten all this had I left him sooner, I would have been, connected had I left him sooner. But you're also saying the same way I'm connected to these lawsuits, right? So if you didn't know about any of this, why did you leave now? You could have easily left back then, as you say, when you were not aware of any of this shit. She can't fool me. And he then asked her, like, did you know there was liability when you left him? Did you feel like why the sip? The ship was sinking and you would have went down too. She said, no. I felt like he was sinking, okay, not the ship. And he was changing. He wasn't answering my questions. I would ask him stuff. He would not respond to me about things or whatever. And you can see that he's now severely his health has severely deteriorated, since I left him. Okay, you've seen him with the black eye. He's in a home now and whatnot. I'm like, girl, what? And I'm like, for her to say, time was sinking and not the ship. I'm like, bitch, time is a ship. If he had access, if he was the only person with access to your livelihood, he was the ship. So for you to say, well, no, I didn't think time was it was time when I no, time is a ship. He's a Titanic, okay, and he was sinking, and you knew it, and you left him, and that's well within your right. But to lie about it is what makes everyone just a little bit frustrated with her because I'm like, you on bullshit. No, it's time. No, bitch, time is a ship. He is a ship. Okay, you riding on it, but he's a ship. Okay. Andy asked her if she ever asked people at the firm about her finances or whatever, what Tom had going on and those things. And no, there were so many people who surrounded him or whatever. He had so many layers of protection because of other lawyers or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So I only had so much access to different things. Okay. And so I talked to lawyers I trusted, okay, but not the ones at the office. I talked to my own trusted lawyers or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But I could not say what they told me, and I can't say when I started asking them questions. I'm like, because you know something, he's guilty. You know it. You know it, girl. And he asked if you had, this is the best question to me. If you had no access to money, to your own finance, and she said, I did not have access to A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. Okay, so if you did not have access to all those things, how were you able to rent a house, rent a car, and move without him having any idea for what you were? Because you don't have any access. You couldn't leave him then before all these things happened. Okay, because you had no access. And now all of a sudden you were able to easily leave him, get a $9,000 per month place or whatever, but you don't have that. Girl, get out my face. She then said, I won't answer that question. Okay. But I didn't do anything illegal and I was well within my legal rights to do what I did. I was like, you had access to something or you were able to get access. And that's the whole thing. Why were you acting like you did not do these things? I think the major thing is that 20 million that Tom put in her LLC that she's making it seem like I had no access to that. Okay. He might have put it in my LLC. I didn't have access to that. I didn't have that. I just had two credit cards. That's it. I was like, get on my face. Okay. He then asked the cast we seen last season and Tom was, he seemed to be in all his faculties or whatever. I'm gonna pop off screen. He seemed to have all his stuff together. We seen the flashback of him telling them about a story of him. Was he with John? Went ground some in the old days. And he seemed to be perfectly fine. Okay, just all the way fine. So how did his health decline so fast? They did say he was talking to her back then or whatever, having a conversation or whatever, and telling stories. Erica then say she paused. It's like I felt like she paused to figure out what was the story for this? What lie no, what story am I okay, he's on a loop. He's on a loop, and he just repeats old stories, and he entertained people, but with old stories. And had anyone asked him to name people there, he would not have been able to, use anyone's name in the room because he was gone. And I was like, girl, bye. Kyle, what about your friend? What did your friend say? Well, my friend said that when she walked, I'm like, get out my Kyle friend. Who was Kyle friend? Fuck Kyle, fuck her friend. Yes, people who are older, who have dementia or Alzheimer's or these different ailments, whatever, yes, they can very much so deteriorate really, really fast. The thing is, she's saying he had been doing that for 3 whole years. So why leave him when you know he's sick? I was confused about that or whatever. And this, Lisa and Kyle and Dorit all chiming in. Well, yeah, that's very true. That makes so much. It doesn't make sense. It's a great excuse. It's a great. They use the perfect excuse to be able to write off whatever time did. Is what I believe. Okay. Now I was like, get out of my damn face. But again, it's been if his health has been declining for 2, 3 years, stop lying. Andy then asked a fan question saying, if you didn't know anything about Tom, what he was doing, but you knew his mental health was declining, why did you divorce him once you knew he was sick after 20 years? And that's true. It's like you did not divorce him 3 years ago before this accident, before all these head things. But now that he's too sick to really be on his own, now you leave. She say that's not fair. It's not fair. I left before, I left before I left, and it wasn't about him being sick. Okay. I was the only one who took care of him after the accident 3 years ago, whatever. I was going to call the doctor, whatever, made sure he didn't have any surgery because his head was messed up. I protected him. People feared him. I tried, people, I would try to get him help, and people would say that, you know what I'm saying? They were in fear of him suing them. So no doctor would help her, I guess, as far as his mental capacity. But if he's so mentally not there, it's easy to rule him like he needs some help because he on that bullshit. So again, they picked the perfect defense to explain away all the bullshit that went on or whatever. And I was like, girl, bye. You stand 3 years later after the incident, it's like you left because you knew it wanted more money. That's what it was. And they asked, you think there's a chance that Tom didn't do what he's accused of? I hope it is. I hope, because that's not the man I married. It just isn't. And we asked her, like, if you knowing what you know now, like, do you regret marrying him? Would you go back and marry him again? You know, I question who I married to. I don't think I ever knew him. I was like, you knew him the whole time. You just accepted it though. You were a sugar baby, you was sugar daddy, and that's what it was. He asked for her name now being legally named in different lawsuits. What do you want people to know about that? I feel terrible. Okay, I feel it's not who I am. Okay, and I hope it's not who he is. But I have been messaged by people who say similar stories about, getting a divorce. You didn't find out your husband or spouse have done all these things or whatever. And I can allow what he did to destroy me. Okay. His actions are now being pointed at me and I ain't even do shit. And I can't allow that. And I was like, I mean, you could, because people just feel like she knew some shit, but she said she did not. And she said, right now I have to worry about myself. I'm not, but you always been worried about yourself, ma'am. It's always been about you, Erica. And I'm like, that's on you. And I'm not saying she don't have the right to feel how she feel, but I just feel like she's lying. And they figured out how to make it seem like what he's been doing, it was a reason for it, even though he had been doing it long before he had that accident. Okay, point blank periods. And now they get on Dorit. They kind of love that stuff. Dorit talks too much. She does. Okay, she does. Kyle said it. Many people have. Kathy said it. Garcelle said it. Many people have said she talks too damn much, and her sitting there trying to explain why she talks too much bored me to no end. And Andy swallowing his yawn because she's boring. Okay, you could have been tired. But again, am I boring you, Andy? You're like, no, I just swallowed a yawn. That's what I was thinking. I'm like, but she was boring. Whatever. Kyle talked. Oh, he was cheated. Who cares? Okay, let's move on. Dorit brings up what the whole thing with Dorit and her kids knowing, black folk or whatever, her kids, having any kind of connection to somebody of another race, minority, and her making a comment on the show saying that her kids love dark skinned people or, minorities because they get to know them as her workers, because she hires others. Okay. And I just used the wrong words. I'm like, if you speak so many languages, why do you say the wrong words in English? I'm just wondering. What for? Who would win? Who would know? It's who, what, when, where, how, and why do you do that? Okay, Dorit, fuck you. Anyway, so they also bring up how they wonder if Garcelle, not Garcelle, well yeah, well Garcelle, but they wonder if they asked if Garcelle felt like Dorit didn't get her point and saying you only hire colored people or minority people or black people to work for you, and that's how you expose your kids to them. I'm like, what she do? Now, when Garcelle kind of defended Dorit and saying that, but I don't think that's what she thought. I just think it was a tough conversation that night. Um, and I don't, I don't want to put any weight into, Dorit not getting my point or whatever. I was like, whatever. I do feel like Dorit know black folk based on where they work for her in the kitchen, in her lawn, in the laundry room, in the driveway. I don't know, but I don't think for one second that Dorit or even Kyle or any of these white women have legitimate friendships with someone who's black. Period. I don't believe. Okay, and Garcelle, stop playing nice with these heifers. Do not be trying to, explain why. Yeah, I don't feel Dorit. Fuck Dorit. Okay, Kyle, not Kyle. Garcelle, the next words out your mouth should always be, man, fuck Dorit, and keep it moving. Okay. Now they bring up Dorit having a nose job. Now Dorit says she hasn't, but the photo evidence say yes, you have. Okay, you have absolutely had work done. You've had your lips filled. You've had your nose done. Okay, and even though her face is a bit chunkier in the one photo, her losing weight and getting slim and trim has nothing to do with the shape of her nose. Okay, her whole nose is different, and the fact that she sat there and said, "I haven't had my nose done," unless you meant I haven't had my nose done since the last time I had my nose done. That's it. You've had your nose done since birth. Okay. Again, maybe she has not had one done since she had it done. She has not had it done recently. I can say she probably came on the show with it done. I have not had a nose job while on the show. I give her that. But you have definitely had one since this photo of you and how you really look. Your original face. Okay? And your original lips. Okay? And your original chin. Okay? Girl, back and miss me with the bullshits. Miss me with the bullshit. Okay. The rest of the reunion was really about, they talked about Lisa's daughter dating Scott Disick. The fact that Lisa's segment was about a child dating someone, something that we did not see happen on the season at all, proves Lisa running ass don't mean nothing to the show. She does not mean nothing to the show. She can go. I was like, her daughter, fuck her daughter, fuck Scott. And how do you feel about her and Scott? They broken up. Who cares? I was like, I hate it when a person has no storyline and they bring up rant. I'm like, girl, get out my damn face, okay? We didn't see Kyle and her sister Kathy, discussing how what one thing on better term now, fine, but also how, which is great. But Kathy got sad talking about her mom and how hurt she was on season one. This is season 11. I don't have time to sit here and watch Kathy and Kyle conversate. In other words, have a conversation about shit that happened in season one. Okay? Forget that shit. If they can't discuss things that happened this season, get out my face. Okay? I was in both of those subjects, I did not care about it. Now, Kathy crying was horrible. She broke down crying, a whole white woman tears, with her face not cracking or whatever. Fine. But I don't care. That had nothing to do with the season. So again, Kyle can go, which I know she won't. Kathy can go, which I know she won't. They're fun. Uh, but Lisa Rinna, get out of my fucking face. And I also that was the whole thing anyway. That was over here. I heard rumblings. Okay, that the season has started filming. Okay, season 12, and that Dorit possibly will not be back next season. Out of these women up here, if we have to keep Snake Ass Renner, okay, if we have to keep Snake Ass Renner, she can go. Okay, they both can't stay. I know for a fact they won't get rid of Kyle. We know it's gonna happen. They're gonna keep Sutton and Garcelle. We know that too. Kathy gonna be in too because Kathy and Kyle, cool. They can even keep Crystal Punk ass. Okay, but these two have to be broken up. Okay, they can go. So if Dorito is gone, great. Erica Jane is a flip up for me for next season because I know she needs the money. And while she probably will be back because she needs the money, she could also leave. They need to bring back Denise. They need to get Denise on a couple episodes this season, the upcoming season, and that will be good. Honey, that'll be so good. But I'm gonna leave it at y'all. Girl, I'm going to leave. I'm thirsty. As a reviewer, our mouths get tired and dry, and then it fucks up our speech. But again, that's all. Do not forget to follow me on my social medias, okay, at JayLeesCorner. Do not forget that we will be live this Sunday at 5 p.m. Eastern time, okay, 5 p.m. Eastern, to interview Kimmy. And this Thursday, the show is on my channel, okay, be there or be square, okay. But other than that, I gotta go. I will see y'all when I see y'all. Have a great time. Peace.